So Europa Clipper, a mission to go to Europa at Jupiter to sniff and smell or taste and smell, as I don't know how NASA was trying to describe it, but take all the scientific readings to go through those plumes that are coming out of the liquid ocean underneath the surface, which could very well hold life. And if they get good data, which we think they will, with everything that we've seen, if there's water, that's kind of been our whole theory right now with anything search for life is if there's water, there's probably life. To the point where even even on Mars, we're thinking about these subsurface oceans and lakes. So this one mission, which has been a giant struggle of getting there. I mean, talk about
Yeah,
it being used as a political football for years.
yeah,
And the fact that it launched on a Falcon Heavy is insane because it was always packaged with, I think it was a ULA rocket, but basically it was you launch this mission on this rocket or it doesn't launch, and that's why it hasn't launched in all these years. Um, and even like a mission like that, like we didn't get any recovery of the Falcon Heavy boosters. They used it all, which is totally fine. Like that's what that mission profile required to give it enough energy to get to Jupiter. It's got to go to Mars and then back
back to
to
Earth
Earth and then on
and
its way to Jupiter.
slingshot out to Jupiter's super distant orbit.
Yeah.
And like it's not necessarily going to like focus directly on life, but like just like revisit Europa's potential. Um it has a like that it has an ice shell on top of which like is one of the most radioactive environments in the solar system.
Yeah.
So you think there'd be no life at all. Like I've always wanted to go to Jupiter. You probably have too, but I'm not sure any of us ever will get to. Not because we'll die before we have spaceships to go there. It's because how the hell do you survive that environment? Uh
Totally.
but then just underneath the crust, which is pretty freaking thick. This like big ice crust of Europa is an ocean, or potentially an ocean. It's not confirmed, but from looking at its mass and how it behaves and the way it's pulled by Jupiter, immense gravity, we think that there could be an ocean that is nearly 100 miles deep.
Hmm.
And I think like I wrote down earlier that the Mariana Trench, the Challenger Deep of the Mariana Trench, is 6.7881 miles deep.
Wow.
So I mean, more than 10 times deeper than the deepest point in the Pacific Ocean on Earth. And it's the entire moon under
Hmm.
this crust. So like all of that volume, just like endless dark abyssal. If you go up, you're just going to reach like an ice crust. There's no surface to go to. And you wouldn't want to because of the radiation. And if there is
Yeah.
water, because of the way, I don't remember what this process is called,
Hmm.
but it's like why Io is so volcanic. Um, like the gravitational like pulling, compressing and pulling on
Yeah.
Europa heats the core. And if that's happening and there's an ocean, there's a good chance that there'll be geothermal vents deep in its ocean. And since you can't be on the surface where photosynthesis would need to happen because everything would die from the immense radiation, you might have, I think it's or chemical chemosynthesis. Not like chemo, that makes me sound like cancer treatment.
That's exactly where my mind went
I
to.
think it's chemosynthesis or something like that. And it's just like getting energy from the chemicals expelled from geothermal vents, which happens on Earth, of course. People have seen
Hmm.
like all the science videos of like these big black, dirty chemical plume coming out. And that's what might be there. And if that's a lot of if then
Yeah.
theorems, but if there's an ocean underneath and if it's warmed enough that there are these geothermal events and if a few other things that happen, then there could be definitely at least microbes and maybe more.
Yeah.
There's that movie Europa, which makes it a little darker but more fun.
What
But
did you
that's
think
from
of
a
that
while
movie?
ago. I loved it. I wanted more. I want that. It should be like a franchise by now, I think, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I loved I think I loved three-quarters of that movie. I think they lost me at the end. But I agree. I would definitely watch another of that style for sure.
It kind of lost like scientific.
I think
Like
that's
the
yeah.
realism fell away. Like you're on the surface. Oh no, I'm just gonna go out and take a sample in my spacesuit.
Why, why would you
It's
go
like,
out? Yeah.
no, you only have like 30 minutes and you have to come back. I'm like, I don't know you'd have that long. And it's like, oh, you've fallen through the ice like you're in like the Great Lakes. And now you're saying, no, it's a little deeper than that. Um, but yeah, it was a genre of film like found film or something
Mm,
from like the 2000s. Uh, anyway. It was one of the
Yeah.
latter ones of that, and I thought that was a really, really cool take on that. But for viewers that don't know, if you like space at all, you should watch this film from like 10 years ago called Europa. It's just about a
It's
crew of
definitely worth a watch.
astronauts that go
Yeah.
to Europa in the future, and it's told in a sort of perfect past tense by the NASA administrator of the program, all fictional, about this crew that went to Europa and then like what they found there. I won't
Mm.
spoil it for you.